Mm. Hello. This is so great. So we're live. Hello, hello. We are live on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah, and my name is Maria Chaudhry with Birth Song Botanicals, and you already know who I am. And I thought I would just hop on here today to share with you and say hello, hello, and welcome, and to reconnect with the birth song community and reconnect with the people that know and love herbs and live their lives deeply rooted in Gaia and branched out and strong and alive in the fullness of their life. And so I'm going to share with you today the I'm going to share with you our apothecary and all the herbs in our apothecary. And we have a whole selection that really travels the life cycle of a person. And I thought today I would take my time and I would share with you from birth to menopause how our herbal products can support you, and how not just our herbal products, but how us at Birth Song Botanicals, how we can support you, and how the herbs, more importantly, how the herbs and plants can support you. So, yeah. So let's just get started, okay? I'm going to start with I pulled out everything over here that you don't see. We've got it all over here. Now I'm going to start with birth. What a great place to start. And when we're starting with birth, before I get into all this, I do want you to know that the reason you want to listen is because you want to know about the herbs, but you also are going to receive a discount, a code, right? You're going to receive this code. And in this code, you're going to get so much more out of your Black Friday deals. Everybody else is getting a deal. Everyone's getting a deal. And those of you that are watching live, are going to get an even better deal. Your Black Friday is going to become bright. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into the collection starting with birth. Now, so when the baby's born, I feel a little bit like the wise women, the wise men and women that came to the birth of uh, of Christ, because the first thing I'm going to bring is I'm going to bring cord care powder, and it looks like it's a little bit hard to see on here. Cord care powder. I'm going to hold it up here. Yeah. And so cord care powder is blended with myrrh and lavender and Oregon grapefruit, and all these herbs are really drying, and they're antimicrobial, and they help dry the umbilical cord to help facilitate its natural drying process. And it smells amazing, and you're not going to use all of this up. So first one, cord care powder. And set this here. The next one I'm going to share with you is, we have a brand newborn. And now this is for the baby still, and you may have to have your baby have chapped, hot, dry diaper rash. And so you need some healing salve. And so this healing salve is uh, cooling for a hot rash, blended with calendula and plantain. And so throughout this talk, when I'm giving and saying a name of a product or saying a name of an herb, you can always go to our website, go to Birth Song Botanicals, and in the search bar, put that herb name, calendula or plantain, and a whole host of blogs and a whole host of products and all this herbal education will show up for you. So if you want to know about the products and know about the herbs, just put them in the search bar. So we've got diaper salve, we've got cord care powder, and then also for newborns specifically, they may have colic and they have gas and they're bloated and have a hard time having bowel movements. And so for that, we have stomach soother. And stomach soother was developed with my son. When my son was a newborn, he had colic and I needed a solution. And this is what I created. That was 20 years ago. And now, last night, I was taking stomach soother after my Thanksgiving meal. So, this is just a wonderful blend for newborns. Now, with a newborn, here's important. This is important. Newborns, you just give them one drop per 5 pounds of body weight, and that will be enough. And you can even, if they're nursing, just drop it onto your nipple or drop it on your finger and let them suck it off. Okay, so those are the specific newborn remedies. I have one more remedy I'm going to share right now because it's related to newborn, but I might come back to it a little bit later, and that's postpartum herb bath. And so postpartum herb bath is for mom and baby. You know, you always hear you can't take a bath, the baby can't take a bath until the cord dries up and falls off. But that's not the case with this bath. This bath will help support and enhance the natural drying process of the umbilical cord. And it's also going to help the mom who just gave birth and help her tender perineal tissues to feel restored and recover more quickly. And it's also such a beautiful bonding experience for mom and baby together. I call this the victory bath. And so this is your newborn collection. And now we're going to just keep going. And I want to remind you when you're watching this video, you want to stay for the code. I'll share you the code because I did one whole collection. The code, when you go to Birth Song Botanicals and all the products that I'm sharing with you today, all the products, if you collect any of them, put them in your cart, and then use the code, all caps, LIVE 35. Live 35. And you'll get 35%. Everybody else is getting 20%. So it's really advantageous to stick around and use the code. So this Birth Song Botanicals is a life cycle, right? It goes from birth to menopause. So we just shared newborn. And so now this person was a newborn and now is a child, right? So now this child, what herbs and remedies would benefit a child? Okay. I have quite the collection. Well, certainly stomach soother is going to be in the children's collection because stomach soother is going to help with stomach bugs, tummy bugs, nervous stomach, motion sickness, car sickness, um, just any bloating and digestive issues that children have, which are common. And so I would add that first off. And then, children, they get sick sometimes, like especially right now. I have a friend texting me right now saying, "Oh, my son has strep throat." So, or no, my son has walking pneumonia. I think my son, who's 20, has strep throat. But so I'm going to share with you the first one is children's respiratory support. Now, children's respiratory support is going to help with lung support and immune support. It's blended with elderberry. And elderberry is a classic herb for respiratory immune, as well as digestive issues, as well as helping support when a person has a fever. So children's respiratory support. Again, go on the website and put in elderberry, and you're going to find a whole host of resources. that's going to support you to keep your children healthy. And actually, when you do that, you'll see that we have a free Herbs for Kids course. And you can learn all about these products, and you can also make remedies for your own children. Actually, I'm going to choose this one. Children's Immune Boost is another wonderful herbal botanical product for children. Huh, because I just got distracted for a second. This is for acute symptoms. So when a child is actively having an immune response and you need to act quick and have something strong that is strong enough to be effective but gentle enough to be safe for them at their age. So that is children's immune boost. And this is blended with Echinacea purpurea and yarrow and Oregon grapefruit. And so these two, they go together really well. We make a bundle called the Immune Bundle, and these two come in it. What else do I want to share with you? Oh, okay. Common is children, especially young children, when their eustachian tubes are not formed all the way, super common to have earaches. And so earache relief oil blended with mullein and arnica and garlic. The garlic is going to be really effective against any sort of pathogen. And the mullein is going to help clear. And the arnica is going to help with the swelling and the inflammation and the pain that's associated, the discomfort. So all of these come together really beautifully to help with somebody that has an ear, a clogged ear. And so often, again, you have clogged ears, you're coughing, so you would need respiratory support with in the ear. Another component, this I'm going to shift from the tinctures and come back to them. So children's healing herb bath. Now, children's healing herb bath, you can make multiple baths out of this bag. But this is a 3-in-1, meaning that it can be a bath, it can be a steam, it can be a gargle. And so some children are not old enough for gargles. So you have options that you can work with. But this bath is wonderful for upper respiratory, throat, sinus congestion in the upper respiratory tract. And so this in combination with the respiratory support and the earache relief oil is often a winning combination. A few more children's remedies here that are slightly different. One is children's daily immune, and children's daily immune has astragalus in it. And so now this is not for when they're sick. All this, all these that I just shared, those are acute, active um, illnesses. And then they can also be used ahead of time to help with prevention, to help keep their immune system strong. Now, specifically, daily immune is that it's all about boosting and enhancing and fortifying and strengthening the immune system so that they don't have as many illnesses, hopefully. At the same time, another cool thing about astragalus is that it shunts blood out of your central nervous system, out of your center of your body, into your arms and legs. So, like if you have a child athlete that's a runner, like a soccer player, a football player, any athlete, a dancer, martial artist, tennis, that when they are practicing and they need extra energy and extra strength, and specifically right now it's cold and those sports that are practicing outside. I mean, soccer season just finished. So, but the point is they're outside, it's cold, and they need a lot of strength. And so consider Children's Daily Immune to help them with that. And I have a whole blog post about that. Every one of these remedies, I probably have like 10 blog posts of all these different ways you can work with these plants and these remedies. So just put them in the search bar and you'll learn a lot. And the final one for children for now is children's tranquility. Children's tranquility is blended with chamomile and passion flower. And so it's going to be great to help them rest and help them process stress. I mean, life is really stressful for children. We should not underestimate what they're going through, and they need just as much support as we do. And so children's tranquility is going to help with that and help restless and agitation and fussiness and just unable to just find their center and calm. Children's tranquility is very helpful. And then it's also helpful for teething symptoms. These herbs I just mentioned, chamomile and catnip, they're also great for low grade fevers and for aches and pains and just discomfort in the body and discomfort in the emotion, discomfort in general. And so children's tranquility is comforting, peaceful, help with teething, help with upset stomach, help with rest, right? Help with the fussy cryingness. So that is our children's collection. I'm going to have a sip and we're going to keep going. Now, remember, use the code live 35 and you'll get 35% off all of these. I'm going to go ahead and just set these back here to make more room because this child is growing. This child is becoming, she's starting her period. Now, of course, not all the children here are young maidens, but those that are maidens, when they first start their period, and their menstruation, they might have like kind of heavy bleeding. It's pretty common for that to have heavy bleeding, have a lot of cramps, and have a lot of just symptoms of PMS, symptoms of bloating, and just not feeling that great. And we want to really send the message of that your menstrual cycle is awesome and empowering. And so this remedy is cycle relief. And cycle relief is blended with cramp bark and chamomile. I just mentioned how comforting chamomile is. And and cramp bark is going to help your uterus have good tone, meaning it's going to be able to contract and relax like it's supposed to at the same time without the bitterness of the cramp. Right? And for those that bleed really heavy, motherwort is in here and it's going to help not bleed so heavy. Right? So when you're first starting your period as a maiden, you might consider cramp bark and cycle relief. Now, of course, this maiden can grow into a woman that's menstruating, and this remedy will be for her as well. Let's see what else we have. Well, the next one is menstrual harmony, especially when you're just starting your cycle. At really at any point in time in your cycle, at any point in time in your cycle, things sometimes are not quite regular. Sometimes our hormones need a little support. We need to actively harmonize our hormone system and our endocrine system. And so menstrual harmony is exactly that for the person that has an irregular cycle that they're not quite able to depend on. They don't know when their cycle's coming, or they're having a cycle and then spotting and then a cycle and then spotting. And so they need some support to regulate and harmonize. So menstrual harmony for the young maiden that's getting started and for the menstruating woman throughout her years, all the way up into perimenopause. Particularly in perimenopause, again, like at the ending of the cycle, it's common when women start having other issues such as heavy bleeding and cramping and irregularity. And so for maiden and menopause and everywhere throughout, these two remedies are your friend. to help keep you harmonized all cycle. There's, let's see, what else do I want to share with you? Ah, okay, so now this maiden, huh, now let's just suppose this maiden wants to have a baby. This maiden is ready. They want to go ahead and try to get pregnant. And so for them, we have fertile ground. Now, she doesn't have to be a young maiden, but any person that wants to support their fertility, again, to regulate their cycle, to improve their conception, improve their ovulation, fertile ground tincture is blended with Damiana, so it kind of makes you feel a little bit more willing and excited about making a baby, and it helps regulate your hormones. A lot of ashwagandha and vitex, which are prime herbs to support your fertility. Mm. And I want to go ahead and grab a tea here. We're talking about fertility and menstruation, right? And herbal blends to support fertility and menstruation. So, two teas. One is women's balance tea. And women's balance tea is, think of it as nourishment. Think of this as it's got nettle and red raspberry leaf and oat straw. So, this is going to help with your blood. It's going to help your support your bones, your skin, and your womb. It also has lemon balm, which is all about joy and supporting your emotions, and ashwagandha for your hormones. So, and it even has a little echinacea and elder blossoms for your immune system. So, your whole being, your entire being, from your endocrine system to your immune system to your circulatory and your blood, just the whole body wellness. This is women's balance. So it's going to support stress. It's going to support you to respond to stress better so you can sleep, and for your hormones to be harmonized and balanced and regular. So that's women's balance. And then I have another tea that's a menstrual tea that is called Moon Cycle. And this goes in our menstrual collection. Now, moon cycle is a really fun tea because it's going to connect, help you sync with the moon. And I just had a client and a friend really message me. Actually, she was a person I got. This is a cool little story here with this. I got to attend her birth. This young girl is now like, I don't know, 15, 16, I should know, 15, 16, 17. It was a long time ago. I attended her birth. And so the mom just told me that she's been drinking this. And now the mom, and the daughter are, their menstrual cycle is synced together, and they're synced with the moon. And that all happened when they started drinking this. Now, I'm not going to make any promises. None of this is, replacing medical advice or giving any claims. This is just stories and education and sharing how you can work with herbs and create healthy relationships with yourself and with your body, and you and the women that you live with can synchronize and harmonize with the moon. So um, moon cycle is a part of this ability to create a healthy relationship. And then the moon cycles also has mugwort in it, so it's like a really interesting plant because it helps you dream and remember your dreams. And when you're menstruating, it is a time when you're a little bit more in your intuitive mindset, and you're a little bit more tapped into the mystery. And so this will support you in that. Okay. Woo! Oh my goodness. Okay, let's keep going. There's so much more. Okay. Now, if you have any questions or anything, just put it in the chat and let me know if you have questions, and maybe I can answer some of your questions. I'm going to go more because now this woman, that person that wanted to get pregnant, woohoo! Congratulations! She's going to have a baby. So let me grab some stuff for her. Okay. Now, here she is. She's pregnant. Lady in waiting, pregnancy tea. Lady in Waiting pregnancy tea is a classic pregnancy tea. I blended this when I was a midwife, taking care of hundreds of people. This was in the office. Everybody that came in got some Lady in Waiting tea. And I still drink it. I still drink it, even though I'm not pregnant. At the same time, if it's going to help you grow a healthy baby, it's going to help you grow healthy hair, healthy bones, vibrant skin. It's going to nourish your blood and tonify your womb. So it's good all around, especially pregnancy and then postpartum. And so when you're and preparing you for birth, I would consider this like a 3 trimester tea, right? Your first trimester, drink 1 cup. Second trimester, drink 2 cups a day. Third trimester, drink 3 cups a day to help prepare for birth. And then whatever you have left, continue to drink postpartum. Okay. High in iron, calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, vitamin C, all of it. This is the classic. This is probably like the cornerstone, the pillar of Birth Song Botanicals in a lot of ways. Lady in Waiting. Okay. So I invite you to check this out. Now, if you're pregnant, what's going on? Common challenges that pregnant women face. Well, one is that they have a hard time sleeping, so they might need a little good night to help them get a little rest they need. Of course, you know that your body is preparing to give birth and it's preparing you to be a mother that doesn't get much sleep. So it is important that you learn to adapt to the sleep schedule that you're going to have. At the same time, good night can help you. And also, good night is just really, again, nourishing and relaxing. So it could help you like when you're restless. So even when you're laying down and your legs are restless, right? Good night is nourishing because it's high in calcium. And it also can help you have a good bowel movement in the morning. Again, because chamomile is high in calcium and it helps with digestion and helps with healthy bowel movements and it helps with sleep. And chamomile is in here. I mentioned healthy bowel movements, so I should also say stomach soother. Here she is, morning sickness, nausea, vomiting, um, and so a couple drops of stomach soother as often as needed to help settle your stomach so you can um, get some nutrition in you. So stomach soother and lady in waiting and good night go really well together. And then you know what else goes really well? When I was practicing a midwife and I went to all the births, I was like, hey, you have to have chlorophyll at your home in your birth supply box. And so, because chlorophyll is going to oxygenate your blood, it's going to um, boost your iron levels, and it's going to help you because when you give birth, you are going to give 2 cups of blood away right off the bat. Baby's born, placenta's born, 2 cups of blood. And then if the higher your iron is and the better oxygenated you are, the better your uterus works. So the smoother your birth is and the less bleeding that you could have postpartum. Now, I'm not making any claims. I'm just telling you from my experience that chlorophyll is a necessary component to a safe home birth or a safe birth and postpartum recovery. So I love chlorophyll and I'm going to recommend it all the time. I have this um, program where you can ask us questions. You can go on here. You'll see it when you make an order. You'll get a card like this in your box, and you can go on here. You can scan. this, and you can fill out the questionnaire, and we'll give you herbal advice, or not advice per se, but suggestions. And you'll often see you may get suggested chlorophyll because it's like so important for all stages of life, especially women that are having heavy menstruations and irregular menstruations and are just really depleted and run down, or if they're feeling depressed or just low energy, and they can't really think clear and they can't really get past their slump. I'm going to encourage chlorophyll every time. Okay, so now what? So she's pregnant. Woohoo! Now what happened? She just gave birth. And since she's pregnant, she needs a lot of water, and I'm going to have a sip too. Okay, now this woman just gave birth. And now I shared earlier about the cord care powder, the postpartum herb bath. And so now what I want to share with you is a few things. She may have had a cesarean. Now, if she had a cesarean, then we have cesarean recovery spray. Cesarean recovery spray, you just spray it on the incision, and it's going to help you stay fresh and clean. I mean, you have to wait till all your strips come off, and then you can spray it on there to help you stay fresh and clean. Okay, cesarean recovery spray. And also, after you give birth, you have, if you haven't given birth yet, you'll find out. Those that have given birth, they know your uterus was just this big, and it needs to cramp down and come to this big, right? And so all that's super important, but it doesn't feel really good. So afterbirth contractions are a necessary part of your well-being. At the same time, you need uterine tone, but you don't want the bitterness of the contraction. You've already just been through so much. So Nurtured Mother tincture is all about nurturing the postpartum mother so that she can have her uterus cramp down. She can have some support for her emotions and her mood. Postpartum blues is a very real thing. And she also will be bleeding, and you're supposed to bleed, and you might bleed all the way up to 6 weeks. But if you're need some support and not bleeding so much for so long, consider trying Nurtured Mother. um, we sell to a lot of midwives, and some of the midwives, their favorite remedy is Nurtured Mother. Like my favorite remedy for pregnant women was always chlorophyll. And then I have a couple of midwives, they get cases of Nurtured Mother for their clients. It's that important. Whew. Now, here we go. So now this woman, she might be breastfeeding. Well, actually, I'm going to share one more thing. I talked to you about postpartum herb bath, and we also have postpartum yoni steam. Now, yoni steam is not for everybody, and herb baths are not for everybody, but they might be for you, depending on your category. Like an herb bath, you need to have a bathtub, right? And so not everybody has a bathtub, so they might prefer the yoni steam to that because they have a place in their house just has a shower, right? Yoni steam is going to do a lot of the same things, meaning it's going to help with your pelvic floor, your perineum, help with the bleeding, help with you taking good care of yourself. But yoni steam is going to do something a little bit different than the herb bath, in that the yoni steam might support really to like tonify your uterus, because the steam is in the herbal steam enters into the uterus from the inside, and that can help tighten things. Whereas the herb bath, that's not happening, right? So consider what your needs might be, and then you can consider a yoni steam postpartum or an herb bath. But now let's go to breastfeeding. Okay, breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. So, let there be milk tincture is, we have so many options, but this is for the person that is wanting to make more milk fast. They're wanting to pump milk, and they might need to return to work, and they need their supply to increase fairly quickly. Now, we have lots of resources on our website, tons of blogs, tons of information about all these herbs, and a lot of ways to help you with the common breastfeeding challenges like low milk supply, or challenges like sore nipples, or challenges like mastitis, or lip tie, or all sorts of things that you might face. And so, Let There Be Milk is a companion to help bring your milk supply up. We have it in tincture form, we have it in glycerin form, we have it in capsule form, and we also have it in, for a limited time, a 4-ounce form. And now this is the best deal, obviously. And but here are some options. Let there be milk. And I love to say, let your love and your milk flow. This Let There Be Milk came from my breastfeeding, I would say, failure. When I was nursing my baby, I was a midwife. I was the one that had all the answers. I was the one that people came to when they had problems. And then it was my turn, of course, to give birth. And I had a beautiful birth, although it was long and hard. It was 3 days long. And I had breastfeeding challenges and a crying baby that wasn't growing, was failing to thrive. I had people concerned. I was concerned. So I created this, Let There Be Milk, 20 years ago. And since then, we have had the opportunity and the gift to support more than 10,000 women continue to breastfeed because of Let There Be Milk. So let your love and your milk flow. Okay. So cool. I see some people on here. Great. So Let There Be Milk, super important part. And then the other piece we talked about, so not everybody needs to just like boost their supply right away. Because more than likely, you probably you can make enough milk for your baby if you're hydrated and you eat well. So here is another blend that supports you to continue to maintain your milk supply. And this is called Nursing Nectar. And Nursing Nectar is all about helping you maintain your supply, but also helping you, the mother, digest your food really well so you can make the milk. And then all these herbs pass through your breast milk to the baby. And it also helps the baby when they have an upset stomach or colic. So, Nursing Nectar and Let There Be Milk, they are wonderful companions. They go together. Okay. And then another couple other pieces. One I mentioned is crack sore nipples. Crack sore nipples are a real thing. And so we have nipple salve, nursing salve. And this is, I get so many compliments on this. They're like, why don't you sell this in a tub? Like a big 5-ounce tub, right? But instead you get your 2-ounce. But nipple salve is, you actually, a little goes a long way. Just put it on, let it absorb, and then nurse your baby. It's all food grade. It's totally okay for your baby to get a little bit, and mainly it's going to absorb through your skin really quickly. So you don't want to put real thick on there, too thick, so it makes it hard to absorb, because then you might actually have to wipe it off before you nurse. But here is nipple salve. And last but not least, in the nursing category, we have a new one, a brand new one. While this is an ancient herb, it's not new in the world of it. This is almost a panacea, meaning it helps so many things. But shatavari root. So shatavari is Shatavari is all about hormone balance. You know, some people call it the Shakti herb, Shakti rising, and it's a sacred herb in India. And it's Shatavari is the woman who has 100 husbands. Now, I don't know why anybody would really want to have 100 husbands, but she is that vital. She is that dynamic. She's that alive. She has a libido. She is capable and loving and so Shatavari. And the nice thing about Shatavari, it's good for all stages. Just don't have it when you're pregnant. Don't have it when you're pregnant, but you can have it when you're breastfeeding. You can have it when you're perimenopausal, and you can have it just at any time, just to help you feel. It is a very feminine herb, a very delightful feminine herb. So Shatavari root. And so I'm putting it here with the postpartum and breastfeeding collection, just because it's safe for breastfeeding. And a lot of breastfeeding moms, we get a lot of emails. Like I said, people give us they ask us questions, and then we give them this little thing and they fill it out and they let us know what's going on with them. And it's really common that postpartum breastfeeding women have a low libido, and so they're looking for solutions. Woohoo! Okay, so now where are we at? We've gone through child, we've gone through birth, through children, through menstruation, through pregnancy, through breastfeeding and postpartum. Now we have these other aspects of our lives. I'm going to just go, before I go into immune, I'm going to show you one more that is all about women's wisdom and women's this cycle of life that women go through. So after your postpartum, well, now I was just realizing, a lot of women give birth in their 40s, right? So they're postpartum and they're perimenopausal at the same time. And so it's not a huge distance between perimenopause and menopause. So I want to share this tea with you. This is our perimenopause and our menopause tea. It's called Women's Wisdom. And I love this tea. This is one of the newest ones. This is one of the newest creations, Women's Wisdom. And Women's Wisdom has Tulsi, another sacred plant. And Tulsi is all about harmonizing your endocrine system. It's also blended with rosemary. And rosemary to me is deeply connected to Mother Mary, which that's just my own little side note, but it's about remembering. And when you're in perimenopause and menopause, it's time for you to reflect and remember. Do you want to, well, first of all, you want to remember and have clear cognitive function and have cerebral function and have clear mind and remember where your keys are. But it's also time for you to remember your past and your lineage. And it's also time to kind of remember that sacred woman, the sacred woman that you are. And so in perimenopause, sometimes people's moods fluctuate quite a bit. So St. John's wort is here and to help brighten your mood, right? And and also this is blended with red clover blossoms. And red clover blossoms is another fantastic herb for perimenopausal support. And hawthorn is all about your heart, your physical heart, so your cardiovascular system, and your spirit heart. So this is women's wisdom in a nutshell. And when you go to the website, put women's wisdom in the search bar, and then you'll see some blog posts all about hawthorn and this tea and tulsi. And there's a lot of really, this is such a beautiful, I think all of these are sacred, but when I really feel like I'm holding a sacred vessel, I feel like women's wisdom is that. And so I'm going to set this here. And I'm going to shift gears. This is another tea. And this is really not about perimenopause. This is not about perimenopause per se, but this is another, it kind of came from that of just people wanting to feel really beautiful and love and activate their eros, and they're like Aphrodite. Now, this is called Lover's Passion. This is a super fun tea to drink. It's so fun. And when you brew it and then pour it into a nice like wine glass or chalice. Um, because it's gorgeous red. This tea is red. And so it has hibiscus and it has rose petals. And so it's all about passion and love and Damiana. So when you drink it, you're going to feel different. Like literally, it just takes a few minutes. You drink it and then it's like, oh, hi. Like you just, something in you softens, something in you opens, something in you is more interested and relaxed, right? And so, Lover's Passion is a dynamic and beautiful drink to share with your beloved or share with yourself as you're just softening and you're deepening into your own sensual expression. And let's see. I kind of want to stay in this because we're talking about now mood and emotion and feelings. And so, and women's health. So, one mood that people have, this is solid and serene. So, solid and serene, this is when somebody is feeling stressed out. When you're feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, pulled in multiple directions, you're feeling like, whoa, unsettled, like you're stressed, right? So this helps you come to your center, helps you feel solid, centered, serene, stable, like you can slow down. Take one breath at a time, one step at a time, right? This is solid and serene. Now, this is for any time. You could have this when you're pregnant. You can have this postpartum. You can have this breastfeeding, menopause, right? Solid and serene. It's very necessary in this day and age right now. On full disclosure, I've been having some solid and serene, right? Okay. Now, the opposite, now solid and serene, that's for a person that's amped up. They're like, have a lot of energy and I'm loud and I'm big, right? So, solid and serene. It helps me. Now, for the person that's feeling depressed and they're feeling down and they have a darker mood and they need more light and they need to rise up and have a little bit more sunshine and a little bit more joy in their life. This is Joyful Journey. Now, Joyful Journey is all about, well, joy. So it's got hawthorn for your heart, your physical heart, and your spirit heart to help you have an open heart, to keep your heart open and healthy. It has lemon balm. Lemon balm is known as the joyful herb. It's lighthearted, it's uplifting, tastes really good. And lemon balm has, like, it seems so light and easy, great for your digestion and real friendly and playful. It's also super powerful antiviral herb, just for you to have that in your awareness. Anytime you're dealing with anything virus, like lemon balm is common you in remedies for like um, fever blisters and herpes virus. Lemon balm is common in those remedies. So just have that awareness. This is an extra piece for you to know. But also, this is blended with St. John's wort. And St. John's wort, oh my gosh, it is the brightest, funnest, uplifting. It's all about courage and protection and joy and like this bright, bright light in the world, sunshine, right? So consider Joyful Journey if you're needing a little lightness in your heart. Now, I just had two major surgeries this year, And I was take needing a little joyful journey, and it helped me immensely. St. John's wort is not just about your mood. It is about mood. That's what it kind of is in the category of mood. That's what people know. But this is also about nervine. And this is all about any nerve sensation, nerve discomfort. So, nerves run up and down your spine, nerves run all through your body, and they can create physical discomfort, emotional, spiritual discomfort. So just don't put St. John's wort just in the mood. And I'm about to talk about St. John's wort again because I'm going to talk about it in the first aid collection. But St. John's wort is wonderful for skin and first aid, St. John's wort oil specifically. So, kind of doing a lot here. I'm almost getting closer. One other remedy that's in this menopausal and really sleep and stress, and an herb that's commonly known for one thing, but really has a whole vast way that it can support you, and that's black cohosh. So, black cohosh, classic hot flash, right? Hot flash remedy, and it really is phenomenal in that they've done all kinds of studies on black cohosh. Now, black cohosh is also really great for muscle skeletal issues and discomfort, and also helpful for sleep, and it's also helpful for just frazzled mood. So when you think of the plant black cohosh, when you look at the plant, do you recognize it? You know what it looks like? Well, when it's growing, it has really beautiful, like ferny like leaves and this gorgeous white flower, and it's just stunning, right? It's elegant and stunning. And so, but then when you harvest it, underneath, the roots are all like gnarled up and clunked up, and it's all distorted looking. And so when you feel like all inside, like all, oh, I don't feel good, but then outside, hi, I'm great. And you look great, and everyone thinks you're great. And inside, you're like, oh my God. That's black cohosh. Very helpful for you. She's an ally for you. Black cohosh. And then, this is another very new. This is UT Harmony. And this is super popular right now because right now it's holiday season. People are drinking more alcohol, eating more sugar, having more sex, and stressed out and not on their normal routine because they're traveling. So the fact that for them to get a UTI or have some bladder irritation or anything like that, very probable right now. So if you're feeling like that, consider UT Harmony. Now, UT Harmony is not going to be for the pregnant girls. Don't have it if you're pregnant, okay? But for the rest of you, UT Harmony. Okay. And that's a perfect segue to, we're getting really close to being done here. Our final little collection is all about immune boosting and immune health. And so, welcome. Immune health. It's cold and flu season here in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, you're going to get it soon. So, here we go. The top one, everybody knows about it, echinacea complex. This is for an active, acute, woo, do not feel good situation. You feel like, I think I'm sick. I need some help. I need some immune support. This is echinacea complex. This is potent. This is powerful. This is effective. You can't really see. I need to create more space. I'll put it here. Now, a companion for echinacea complex is elderberry complex. Elderberry complex is all about respiration, clearing your respiration. So if you have any respiratory, immune, or digestive issues, elderberry complex. Anytime that's like it's active, elderberry is well studied classically. So this is a lot. You can, as soon as you Google it, you'll see that it helps all these areas. And then also, so it's also for acute symptoms and for to help prevent. So they go together. And then another one to add in the complex is astragalus complex. Now, astragalus is all about longevity. It's all about health and longevity, and think of it as a tonic that can help you to stay healthy all year long, all season long, helps you exercise harder, helps you just be healthier in general. But it's not for when you're actively sick. This is what you have ahead of time, before or after. This is all about the recovery, the convalescence. Like you've been sick, you're no longer really sick, but you're not 100% better, but you don't have active symptoms, you're not going to get anybody sick, but you still feel under the weather, then that would be a good time. On the website, when you put astragalus in, you'll see like recipes for soup and all kinds of things in there, resources for you. And then we have, for immune, we have cold and flu bath. You know, when you're not feeling well, your body's aching, you're stuffy, congestion, sinus congestion, cold and flu bath helps open up your sinuses and helps your body feel better and opens up your lungs. And then we also have a couple teas right now. I had a person just text me right before this and be like, "Hey, do you have any of this? Can I come pick it up?" Lung support. Lung support is all about your respiratory, your lung health. Like it's bright, it's mullein and sage. So if there's anything in there that's wet, it helps dry up wet, congested lung support. Okay. And lung support goes well with any of these other remedies that I mentioned, especially this bath goes great. But I need to say something about lung support if you're listening and you care about these things. Don't have lung support. This isn't for you when you're breastfeeding. This isn't for you when you're breastfeeding and pregnant. Okay. But what is for you when you're breastfeeding and pregnant and or anybody else, it's immune tea. So this immune tea is for children, it's for elders, it's for everybody all the time. This is a helpful one. And so it's going to help boost your immune system and help just keep your sinuses and your lungs, healthy so you feel better. And it can go well with, it blends well with all of these. This is a nice little kit, a nice little collection for you. And then I have a couple more things here. Just we mentioned stress and we mentioned uh, well, we didn't mention self-care, and so maybe I should. All of this is all about wellness and self-care. And so self-care and soothing herb bath, along with some of these other like joyful journey or solid and serene, will help you when your body is hurting. Then you drink some women's balanced tea and you take a soothing bath, then, and this is really good for like clearing your energy. So it's also for your muscles, a muscle soak, a foot soak. But then also if you've just been around a lot of energetic and you're like, ooh, I have got to clear my field. I have got to clear my energetic field. I have too much toxic stuff around me. I need to create a clearer field. This is soothing herb bath is really great for that. And all that tension and pain that comes with being bombarded by other people's stuff. And you want to clean that up. Soothing herb bath. Ah, cool. So remember what code are you going to use? You're going to use the code LIVE LIVE, live 35, all caps, because you're live. And we are working through. So this is a really small collection right here. This is about first aid. And I love these products. Mm. So I have to wrap this up because Instagram just said, you're done. You're done. I probably have been an hour long, so I don't get to go too much longer. So thank you for watching for so long. I know there's just so many things to share. But in brief, first aid, right? We have a first aid kit, a first aid selection. And so this is wound recovery spray. I made some posts about it. You might have seen me with my big old scar on my hip. I have a big old scar here and a big scar here. And I sprayed it on here, and my scars from my hip surgery recovered very quickly because of the wound recovery spray, first aid powder, and healing salve. Healing salve is a universal herbal salve for all kinds of things: cuts, scrapes, bruises, tattoos. You can use it as a diaper cream. You can use it as a nipple salve. You can use it for chapped lips, whatever you want. Healing salve. My husband's an archaeologist, and I see some of his friends, and they're like holding up their arrowheads, and I'm like, ooh, that boy needs some salve. So if you're an archaeologist, then here you go. Mhm. Uh, and last but not least, this is the final little collection here. And now these are yoni steams. And I made this post, and it was really popular for a long time. And it was all about the word yoni and the sacred art of yoni steaming. And it was very popular. And I'll when you go to the website, just put yoni steam in there, and you'll see the posts, you'll see the videos. It's very beautiful. We have a whole collection. And so, well, let's just start with uh, cleansing. Yoni steam for cleansing. So anytime now, you are not dirty. That's always my hesitation with talking about yoni steams, is that somebody somehow thinks that they're dirty. They themselves are. No, you are not dirty. Your body is sacred. Now, you may have had an experience that was toxic or that didn't settle well. You may have had a past lover that you don't really want to have a connection with. You may have had a medical procedure that you're like, ooh, I didn't like that. I want that out of me, right? So this is yoni steam for cleansing, and it helps us kind of give you a fresh opportunity. It just helps you nourish and purify and bless your womb. Okay. And then now, if we wanted to go on a life cycle, right? And so you cleansed, got rid of an old lover. And so now maybe you want to bring in a new lover, a fresh one. You want to, or enjoy um, your partner in a new way, right? Or you want to activate your libido in a new way, your sensuality. So this yoni steam is all about sensation and sensuality. And then you might be interested and ready to have a baby, and you're wanting to create in your life, and you want to have a baby and be pregnant. And so yoni steam for fertility, with fertile ground, with women's balance, that is a winning combination for you. And if you have just given birth, I shared with you about yoni steam for postpartum. And also, if you really, if you're going through menopause, and we talked about in Women's Wisdom, it's time for you to remember and honor your cycle and honor your life and honor your wisdom. And if you want to honor your wisdom of your womb and your yoni, this is a yoni self-esteem, to help you reconnect with the feminine power that you have within, and to honor your menstrual cycle in a way that's very wholesome as it passes, as it completes. And here's one, a sad, well, not a, I mean, it's a sad note to end on, but this is a part of life sometimes, and we get so many. And in some ways, honestly, this might be our best seller, unfortunately, and fortunately, is yoni steam for miscarriage. So not every pregnancy ends in a full term birth. And yoni steam for miscarriage, after a miscarriage or any loss, is is a wonderful healing way to take the time and have reverence and um, be with the grief process and see how the grief process and how it lives in you and your womb, and to tend to very lovingly, very tenderly tend to your womb as you recover and heal and integrate with this healing experience. So, yeah, yoni steam for miscarriage. And wow, we have like shared with you the whole thing. What a gift. And I'm also just going to share with you like this is our newest, latest. I'm pretty excited about it. It is an herbal, it is a catalog, but it's more than that. It's so much more than that. It is an herbal teaching. And in this book here, you learn about the therapeutics of herbs. Like I use some words in here today that you might want to look up on actions, therapeutic actions. There's a lot of teaching in here. Um, and then there's a materia medica. And so some of the herbs that we talked about, I go into some more depth about the herbs that are in our blends, the primary herbs, not all of them, but many. And then we talk about the wise woman tradition and the distinctions between the different ways of healing and the different world views, between the scientific view, the heroic view, and the wise woman view. And all of these really come from the wise woman perspective. And so I show you about that. And then I introduce you into the apothecary. And then you have all the remedies are in here and with all their descriptions. And so if you'd like a link to this, I'll put it on the bottom of this video. You can download it. And if you want to, you liked what you saw, you want to get some now because it's Black Friday, but I'm calling it Bright Friday. And because you listened live, you can use the code, all caps, live 35, LIVE 35, that. Or if you feel like you have an audience and you could be uh, an influencer and you want to be an affiliate, we have an affiliate program. And if you want to be a brand ambassador, we have a brand ambassador program and a wholesaler program. So we've got all kind of options for you. And the last thing, remember, when you get your order, you'll see this card and you can scan this card and you'll be taken to um, a questionnaire, and we'll give you some feedback on which is the right herbal product for you. And you can even just check that out on our website now. So you can just go to birthsongbotanicals.com and have a look around. And so thank you for spending your afternoon with me. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday, and I wish you all the best. Love, love, love.